kids and their careers and alike. So over here, what you can do is uh, you can talk to your parents that this is something you want to really work upon. You can ask for some time, and you can calculate the pros and cons over here. And I'm sure if you are very much clear with your plans, there would be no parents who would not be supporting their kids. The same goes with me also. So when I diversified myself from becoming a working professional to entrepreneur, the same thing even rolled out between me and my mom. So the one thing I was very much clear that I have decided to take up this, and I'm taking up this, and it's my responsibility, and would be giving my best on this. So I think this is the prima facie every parent is looking for. It just that we have to make them understand that why we are doing this and why we want to do this, and in the near future or in the long term, how it would be helpful us to grow. 18% believe that due to gender, uh, they are not taking entrepreneurship. I would park this point aside right now. I would touch upon in the coming slides that 14% believe that they are totally not interested. That's very much okay, because after all, everybody have and has their own choices. So if somebody is not interested, that's very much okay. But with the help of this session, you too can have a look that why you should become an entrepreneur. 14% believe that there is a lack of entrepreneurial skills in them. Now, this is very important, where I believe that many students go by the myth or misconception that if they don't have the entrepreneurial skills, they can't become entrepreneur. Let's see. You all must have heard about the Peter Drucker. I'm sure you all have read their textbooks in the college days and must be reading also. Peter Ferdinand Drucker, an Austrian-born American management consultant, educator, and author, whose writings have contributed to the philosophical and practical foundations of the modern business corporations. So let's see what's his take on the entrepreneurship. Most of what you hear about entrepreneurship is all wrong. It's not magic, it's not mysterious, and it has nothing to do with genes. It's a discipline, and like any other discipline, it can be learned, and it can be learned. I have emphasized thrice that it can be learned like any other thing we do in our personal and professional life, it can be learned. Now, over here, many students might also think and believe that they don't come from a family business background. So it's not into their genes to do business or to become an entrepreneur. So over here, again, it's nothing related to your genes. Even if you come from a normal family, a working class family, then even you too can become an entrepreneur. In order to put across some facts on the table and some statistics and some success stories about the entrepreneurs with respect to this, I would like to share two small case studies and stories about first Ritesh Agarwal, the founder of Oyo Rooms. Ritesh comes from a very small town in Cuttack, Odisha. He was not coming from a family business background. So there is a story over here. During his school days in the class, teacher was asking every student that when you grow up, what do you want to become? Somebody said, I want to become a doctor. Someone said that I want to become a scientist. Someone said, I want to become an engineer. Someone said, I want to become a lawyer. But when Ritesh's turn came, he said, I want to become an entrepreneur. At that given point of time, he was not aware that who is entrepreneur, what it takes to become an entrepreneur, and alike. It's just that his elder sister was into event management, and he used to tag along her during the business meets and e-meets and alike. There he saw the word entrepreneur and came across and found it very unique by itself. So he decided that he want to become an entrepreneur. So over here, friends, Ritesh was very much clear during his childhood days that he want to become an entrepreneur. So with this, even at the age of 13, he started selling SIM cards. Then after he was into selling of the FMCG products and alike. For his further studies, he moved to Delhi for his engineering and alike. But in the first year, he took a dropout. So now over here, don't quote me wrong that in order to become an entrepreneur, you too can take a drop. No, that's not correct, because everybody have their own different story. And I insist, strongly insist that first complete your studies, at least the basic, which is graduation and the masters, and then after you can do become an entrepreneur. Also, you can become an entrepreneur and start working upon your idea right from your college days. That's also very much okay. So over here, he said that he wasn't even 20 when he first started his first company. Also, during the year 2013, he was selected for the Peter Thiel Fellowship Program. Now, this program is being run by the Peter Thiel, which is the founder of PayPal and one of the early stage investor of the Facebook. So the criteria over here to become a part of this fellowship program is that you have to be dropout from the college, as well as you should have some idea with you which you want to take it bigger, make it bigger and go for a longer run. So over here during 2013, Ritesh was the only student who got selected for this program in the whole Asia. In the early days, he mentions that during the founding days of OYO, he used to work for 16 hours a day. So see, over here, try to understand there's a logic. When we create something new, when we build something for the first time, there is no blueprint available for the same. So it's by default that we have to put extra amount of hours, extra amount of hard work and alike. But this doesn't mean that in first shot he got it right and he made Oyo such a big. Even he went through so many failures. Before Oyo, his first company was Oravel Stay, which was a similar kind of Indian version of the Airbnb. But this didn't stop him. It got shut down within the first 6 months itself, but this didn't stop him for trying and understanding the market and studying more and more problems being faced by the travelers with respect to the accommodation. As per the 2020 year census, his net worth is round about 1.1 billion, which comes to 7,253 crore rupees. And he is the second youngest self-made billionaire in the world. Second youngest self-made. I have emphasized twice over here because he was not coming from a family business background, no relation with the genes. Even he was not having any kind of skill set which was required to become an entrepreneur and then a successful entrepreneur. So also he is having many awards to his credit given by the President of India, lots of appreciation by the government of India as well. So we in the ecosystem take pride that our Indian origin entrepreneur is at a global level. Next plan is to make Oyo Rooms the world's largest budget hotel networks. So in nutshell, over here, no relation to genes, no skill set. Even after, if you come across this, you too can become an entrepreneur. And in fact, everybody can become an entrepreneur. Next, I would like to share a story of Mr. Fanindra Sama, the founder of Red Bus. Just a quick check, ma'am. I'm audible, right? Correctly?
Yes, sir. Yes.
All right. Mr. Fanindra Sama, the founder of Red Bus. So over here, I will share a story to his scratchy days, the roots, how Redbus took the birth. So there was a time he was a working professional. He was an IT person. He was working with a company in Bangalore, and his native was in Hyderabad. So there was a Diwali vacation coming, and there was a long holidays. So he, along with his roommates, wanted to travel to their hometown via bus. So Fanindra Sama went to a travel agent to buy a bus ticket from Bangalore to Hyderabad. When he went to the first travel agent, that travel agent called up another agent, and he said that, sorry, we don't have any vacant seat. He moved to the second travel agent. Likewise, he moved to the third, fourth, fifth. Likewise, he went round about 8 to 10 travel agents. And everybody, after ringing up to another agents and said no, that there is no confirmed seat availability for this route. He got very much disappointed with this. He came back home. Seeing other friends got their bus tickets, he was the only person left out into that apartment, and he couldn't go. He decided to stay back and thought that this is a problem statement, because there are tons and tons of bus operators who were running many buses on the routes, but the travel agents couldn't track the live inventory of seats, due to which it were going empty. So over here, many buses were running from Bangalore to Hyderabad and to different routes. But at any given point of time, travel agents were not having any kind of tool or facility through which they can track the live inventory, the empty amount of seats into any running buses, due to which travel agents are losing business, buses are going empty, and the travelers are getting disappointed. So he himself went through this problem. He studied, he did some research, and saw that there are huge gaps into this industry of bus ticket bookings. He immediately emailed this thing to his friends and started working and started building a basic website through which he can generate the traffics and sell the bus tickets. When he went with this tool to the bus operators, they simply said no, that in this industry, there's nothing like internet, there's nothing like software, so nobody would buy it, so don't put any kind of efforts. So even he faced so many rejections and failures while building the rent bus. But there was a one fine day where one of his mentor advised that there is a lack of technology over here. Involve the technology into this, and with the help of technology, he built a single platform where he connected all the stakeholders, bus operators, travel agents, and travelers single-handedly, and make it transparent, easy, convenient to book the bus tickets in no time, which went hit viral and spread it across India like anything. Seeing this at the later stage in 2013, it got acquired by the IBO group at 138 million, which comes to around about 800 crore rupees 8 to 9 years back. So over here, Fanindra Sama never thought to become an entrepreneur during his childhood days. He was happily being a working professional into IT at Bangalore. But there was some incident which disappointed him, because he faced the problem, studied the problem more, and came out with an innovative platform which created a revolution into the whole tourism industry. So over here, Fanindra Sama calls himself as an accidental entrepreneur. And if we talk about Ritesh, he was very much clear that he want to become an entrepreneur. So, my dear friends, you have to decide that where do you want to fall. End of the day, you too can become an entrepreneur. Moving on, I have put one small uh, descriptions about the each word, which boils down to the entrepreneur and entrepreneurship with more. Okay. E goes with studying the problems, examining the problems. Now, over here, you all must be thinking that I too have an idea, or to become an entrepreneur, we need an idea. But I believe, as far as my experience goes, and what I have seen into the ecosystem, the roots boil down to the problems. You have to examine the problems which is being faced by the society, the people, the market at large. Then you can generate creative ideas to solve those problems in form of innovative products and the services, narrowing down the possible opportunities to one specific best one. When you take up anything in hand, talking about the entrepreneurship, there would be time where there would be multiple opportunities coming on the way on a favorable side. But it is being said and proof that you have to narrow down yourself to one specific, the best opportunity. You have to be focused towards one opportunity in terms of putting your time, energy, resources, and everything. Instead of getting haywire, stick to one thing, do it in the best possible manner. Think of innovative ideas. As I mentioned earlier, that entrepreneurship is all about doing different things or doing things differently. And both are correct as per the definition of the innovation, and if we go by the idea as well. Research the opportunities and ideas thoroughly. This is the one, I believe, this is one of the most important skill set every student must have and a budding entrepreneur must have in terms of researching about the opportunities and ideas, the problems in and out in a thoroughly manner. So over here, I believe there should be complete cross-check, validation about the opportunity you think it's an opportunity, about your ideas and the problems which you identify, and listing the best sources of advice and assistance that they can find. You are in college right now, you have a very good e-cell, you have a very good faculty members. They are taking so good initiative by inviting the industry experts and the resource persons. You have to be very, very clear about choosing the resources, and you would be getting all kind of baby support. I'm sure you are getting right from your college days. And trust me, it's just a matter of kickstarting. Once you kickstart, there would be ample amount of people, ample amount of sources, resources who would be helping you to push you to make your journey better. Planning the ventures. Now, planning is very much important. What you think about tomorrow, you have to plan for it today. What you think about day after tomorrow, even you have to plan it today itself. Without planning, it would be like a ship left into an ocean without a compass. So, in order to avoid the haywire-ness, haphazardness, plan things. Though at the basic level, but do plan. At least it will give you an idea, it will create a roadmap and path towards your onward journey, the possible risk and rewards. See, uh, higher amount of the risk and higher amount of the rewards. This is the thing which is very common, and we all know about this thing. But when we talk about entrepreneurship, there are risks involved, at least in the initial operational days, but rewards to come along with it. So, what I suggest and recommend here, that instead of taking a blind risk, you can take the calculated amount of risk, considering the do's and the don'ts, pros and the cons, which would help you and make you more confident towards kickstarting your journey. Evaluating the risk makes the decisions to act or not. This is same. Never hang on to an idea, no matter how much They may love it. If research shows it won't work, it won't work. Now, over here, there's a very beautiful and a very small story to this. There were two entrepreneurs in US, and they had built an application which names was Bourbon, Burbn. So through that application, you can check into the restaurants. You can tag your friends for the future check-ins. You can click the photographs and you share your photographs and alike. Likewise, there were around about 6 to 8 different features into it. But that application was not doing as per the co-founders' expectations. So one fine day, they thought of doing an analysis of the existing customer base and check that what people are liking and what people are not liking it, what people are using it and what people are not using it. They were amazed to see the results that out of 6 to 8 features, only one feature was being used by majority of the base in a craziest manner. And that feature was uploading the photographs, filtering it, and sharing it. So they scrapped all the unwanted feature which was not being used by the customer base, and they focused on only one single feature, which was you can upload your photographs, you can share it, you can like it, and you can comment it. They did some further research and came to know there are two more applications which is providing very similar feature into the market, and out of which during that period of time one was Facebook, but both other two applications were having some other gray area and weak points. This co-founder tried to slip in between these two and saw an opportunity and came out with a new version of an application, which was named not as in Bourbon, and it was named as in Instagram. So now, I'm sure you all must be aware what Instagram is, and you all must be using too. So this was the story how Instagram took birth out of so many unwanted features. They boiled down to single one, and rest is history. So now Instagram is such a very high valued company, also part of the Facebook now. So if something is not working, never hang on to that thing. If it's not working, it's not working. Because see, after all, you are building the product and the services for the market and not for yourself. And if market is not appreciating the same, maybe you can't call yourself as an unsuccessful entrepreneur over here. It's just that the market is not ready for the idea. They are not ready for the product. So better to drop it or wait, or you can diversify, or you can pivot. But there's no question of quitting or ending your entrepreneurial journey. It's just a matter of taking a turn, diversifying yourself, pivoting yourself in a life. Employ the resources necessary for the venture to succeed. Resources are important. Understand that they have to work long and hard. As I mentioned earlier, that you are building something new. When you're doing something for the first time, there is no ready-made blueprint available. So you have to build everything from scratch. So for that, you have to be working hard and long. Realizing the sense of accomplishments from the successful ventures and learn from the failures to help them achieve success in the future. See, challenges will come, problems will come, hiccups will come, but the only thing we can do as an entrepreneur is we have to learn from those, change our methods and applications, learn and grow. This is the only thing we can do in the best possible manner. Otherwise, there is no other way around to become a successful entrepreneur and go for a long period of time. Now, over here, if you see on the screen, I have put certain logos of the very famous companies, out of which WhatsApp, Airbnb, Uber, Microsoft, and the like. So now you all must be thinking that, Fennel, if we go back to past 2 years, we all were hit by the pandemic. In fact, not just India, but the whole globe, the whole world. So still you think that we can become an entrepreneur in such scenarios where our economy was down, we all were badly affected from personal as well as professional front. Still, you think that we too can become entrepreneur in this period or this era. So, my dear friends, do you know what is common between all these companies? All these companies were started during the depressing times or just right after that. As rightly said by the Greek philosopher Plato, that necessity is the mother of invention, which means a need or a problem encourages creative efforts to solve the problems and meet those needs. So, my dear friends, there's no right time, there's no wrong time to become an entrepreneur. Every time is the right time. It's just that we have to smell the opportunity every time. We should be uh, open towards understanding the problems which you might self be facing, your friends must be facing, your family members must be facing, your connections must be facing, your market at large, society must be facing in a life. So we always have to be open to accept the opportunities, explore the opportunities, and work and study on the problems. To give a proof on this, let's have a look at what our Indian entrepreneurs were doing during this pandemic, and overall how our Indian startup ecosystem were doing. For the reference purpose, I have put up the clippings of the news articles over here. If you see, 11 startups in India using AI and robotics to fight the COVID-19. This tech startups managed to grow despite COVID-19 lockdown. It was a pandemic. Now we can say that's endemic. But what entrepreneurs, Indian entrepreneurs were doing during those period, during those time. If you see, mid the 46 startups on Action COVID team's grantee list, Indian startups booming during the COVID-19 pandemic. The innovations Indian startups are coming up with to combat COVID-19. So now over here, see, also the Atmanirbhar. This is the logic. We all live in India, 130 crores of population plus and still counting. So logically, government can't do everything by themselves, be it pandemic, be it any other situation. They need support. They need someone to join hands to combat COVID as well as to do to bring innovations, to bring India at a global platform to boost our economy. And over here in this new India, new era, entrepreneurs are the people or the innovators who are taking charge of this. Mr. Our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi ji, came out with this Atmanirbhar campaign during last year that uh, we as a country, India, want to become a self-sufficient country, a self-reliant country. That means that we need more and more entrepreneurs to come up with the new products and the services, also the small business owners to satisfy their needs and solve the problems which our country is facing, and then supply it access to the other countries. So that's how the Startup India programs are also running well. When it started in 2014, it's a flagship program where it's the primary objective of Indian government to foster the culture of entrepreneurship, in the country to catalyze this startup ecosystem and bring more and more entrepreneurs, and out of which youth are very important. And when we talk about youth, you all college students are very important for the country, for the economy. Billionaire Ratan Tata's advice to entrepreneurs how to set up disaster-proof business in the post-COVID world. As mentioned earlier, talking about the resources, the fundings, the support, everything would be there. It's just a matter of that you have to kickstart. Mr. Ratan Tata himself have invested in many startup companies which are doing really well at the moment. COVID-19 pandemic will see a drastic growth of startups in India. It has already taken entrepreneurs vital for post-coronavirus economic recovery. That's true, and the statistics, further coming statistics, are the proof for the same. Post-coronavirus world provides a window of opportunity to India. Statement by senior American diplomat Yogi Adityanath launches Uttar Pradesh Startup Fund. So see, also the thing happened with at a global platform, India and China, where major hubs, manufacturing hubs from China have been shifted to India and will be shifting into India. So for that, we require someone to grab those opportunities. We require someone to be a part of this thing. So over here, UP was probably the first state to welcome the communication and automobile companies to give us space and other things too. Also, they have dedicated funds to support students and the budding entrepreneurs and the small business owners. Likewise, every state is taking active measures to bring more and more amount of entrepreneurs from their respective states and at a country large. Uh, at the global level, we rank third in terms of the ecosystem of startup ecosystem after China and USA, and we have a vision to become the number one startup ecosystem in the whole world. Quick economic survey of 2021. Indian government has recognized 41,000 plus startups to date. 470,000 jobs created by more than 39,000 startups. See, now over here, as I mentioned earlier, that we are a highly populated country, and out of which 50 to 60% comprises of youth. So if everybody will look for the jobs, there have to be a someone who would provide jobs to them. So entrepreneurs are known as job providers instead of job seekers and job creators. So you can see so many lakhs of jobs are being created by so many startup companies. 319 startups were granted IT exemptions till November 20. Here comes my own favorite point, and which is something I always take a proud in sharing the same. When I did my previous webinar, instead of 78, there were 71. I'm talking about 2 to 3 weeks ago. So now India to date is having 78 unicorns. Now, unicorn companies are the companies whose valuation is more than 100 crore rupees. And all are the startup companies. If I share a very, very clear statistics year by year, from 2011 to 2019, in a span of 9 years, we were having 27 unicorn companies, which means on an average per year, we were having 3 startup companies who became unicorn. In 2020 itself, we were having 10 unicorns. Just to remind, in 2020 was the year when we all were hit by the pandemic. See the magic over here. Previous 9 years average of 3 times, we were having unicorns in just 1 year. In 2021, look at the figure 41. To date, we are having, and December has just started. It's 4th December. We are still going left with 26 days, 25 days into this month. So in 2021 itself, in span of 11 months, we are having 41 new unicorn startup companies. So this statistics are itself a proof that India is one of the fastest growing startup ecosystem. 40 plus startups are working in India's space sector. As mentioned earlier, it's not logically, technically possible for government to do everything by their own. They need someone, and entrepreneurs are the best for it. That's why 40 plus startups are working into the space sector. We would be waiting for it that what new products and what new thing they are building. Growth, how our ecosystem is been growing 15% year on year since 2018. Growth in number of incubators and accelerators by 11%. And very important, there has been a constant rise, constant growth in women entrepreneurs by 14%. Remember my first few minutes when I began the session that 14% students believe that due to gender thing, they can't become an entrepreneur or they don't want to become an entrepreneur. But my dear friends, entrepreneurship never asks your age, nor does it ask your gender. It's open for all. It's just that you should be working on the original problems and you should be having an original solution for the day. Bangalore has been listed with world's 20 leading startup cities. It's also ranked as one of the world's fastest 5 growing startup cities. Now, over here, don't quote me wrong that in order to become an entrepreneur, we have to live in a metropolitan cities like Mumbai, Bangalore, and like no. Again, entrepreneurship never comes with your location also. Where do you reside? It doesn't matter. The matter is how strong problem are you solving with your original idea with the help of innovation and technology. Why we need entrepreneurs? Entrepreneurs are the key driver of any economy. And this has already been proof that post-COVID, in order to revive the economy back on track, to bring it normal and grow, entrepreneurs and the startup companies have played a major role in doing the same. India is heading for 200 million employment gaps. Now, over here, again, don't quote me wrong, but these are the statistics, and the research is saying that if there would be 2 crores opening and there would be 4 crore applicants for the same. So in net, we would be into 2 crores of efficiency of the jobs. So that's how this unemployment comes into the picture. As mentioned earlier, if everybody will look for the jobs, there would be someone to create a job for the same, to provide the jobs for the same. That's why we need more and more entrepreneurs. So if you become entrepreneur today and you build your own team tomorrow, so that you are creating jobs for the people, you are creating employment for the country, you are contributing in that way also. Also, entrepreneurship nurtures the innovation and change. If we go back to 2000 or 2005, just imagine what the way we were living the life. If we want to buy the grocery, we would step down and walk for a half meter or 1 kilometer and buy the groceries from the departmental stores and come back and alive. If we want to go watch a movie, we have to buy the movie tickets by physically visiting it, then enjoy the movie and alive. But now, with the help of innovation, everything is possible on a click of button. If you want groceries, on a click of button, everything will get delivered to your doorstep. You want to entertain yourself, on a click of button, n number of programs and activities would be entertaining too, and you can enjoy right from your couch itself. So innovation, and change is also coming up and being brought by the entrepreneurs and the entrepreneurship. It is making people's life easy, more comfortable. So, yes, that's why we need more and more entrepreneurs. And I want personally you all to take up entrepreneurship. I've listed few sectors and the industries which would be doing well post COVID, and that this has also started doing. If we talk about the edtech, education technology, in 2020, March 2020, when we hit by the first lockdown, we never thought that we faculty members would be teaching virtually, nor you thought that you would be learning and attending the class in a virtual manner. But remember, I told you everything is for the first time. When we do it something new or for the first time, we have to do it. And by the time now, I'm sure you all must be comfortable enough to learn in a digital manner, and so do we faculties are. So EdTech has uh, is been growing in a very good manner. If I quote an example over here, you all must have heard about the Byju's. So Byju's have become the world's most valued startup company in terms of education technology, which comes from India. Health and wellness is very important. We all have learned it very hard. So companies into this is also doing well. Financial services and NBFCs, gone are the days where we used to carry the hard cash to buy anything, to make any transactions and align. Nowadays, everything again is possible on a click of button. All the fintech companies are booming and doing very well. Also, as per the recent survey coming from the US, that India would be the major market for the fintech companies, considering the market and the innovations which fintech companies are coming up into India and by India. SaaS and remote working tools, everybody is doing work from home. Let's take an example of webinar also. Earlier, we used to have a seminar in a one-on-one basis, but now we are all well versed with the webinar. For example, we are using Zoom only. So Zoom has boomed post-COVID and in COVID itself. OTT platforms, online gaming, you all can entertain yourself. Many companies have jumped into this where they can provide you any number of programs you can enjoy right from your couch. Pharma, life sciences, and labs and pathology. We have invented our own vaccine. So that's the very best example, and we have supplied to other countries as well. Managed office spaces will also be a very good sector once we are completely on ground again. Now, over here, you all must be having one common question. I believe that where to start from, how to start, or how to start a startup. So for that, I have put one small chart, a compact chart, which would I take 3 minutes to explain you in detail. See, as I mentioned earlier, that when we were living 10, 15 years ago, we never thought our life would be this in 2021. Just imagine about 20, 30, 35, and maybe 40 also. What would be the life? How we would like to live? So you have to live in the future, ahead of the time. Think about the tomorrow in terms of development, in terms of growth, in terms of progress and alignment. So when you think about tomorrow, you would study that what's missing. In 2020, right now, we are like this. In 2030, 2035, life would be something different. So there would be some missing component over there. There would be some gaps into it. There would be a number of problems over there. So you have to make a note of all these things by observing. This is not a one-shot activity, one-time activity. You have to do it in a continuous manner. Accidentally, surprisingly, you never know what might get strike to you or you come across. So you have to write it down. Write it down and bounce your ideas in terms of when I say that idea would be at the very thought level that you have come across this problem When you think about an idea, that means that you have some different thought to crack that problem, to solve that problem. Idea is still at a thought level, but you are still thinking on upon it. Then after, you have to apply it by making a prototype is nothing but a beta version or a demo version of your idea. You can show it to the say 100 people. Over here I have given an example. You can show it to your faculty members, you can show it to your friends, you can show it to your family members, you can show it to your other connections and alike, and see what they believe, what they say. Gather the feedback, gather the suggestions, come back and work upon the feedbacks and suggestions in terms of what are their requirements, what are their needs, how you and your product can fulfill and satisfy the same. Iterate means make changes here and there as per their expectations. Then after, depending upon the story, you and the stage, you can find a teammate, or you can say a co-founder and alike. Then if that stage is going well, you can register your corporation, and you can go officially on paper. Then after, look for the funding and build a version one at the same time. Now over here, again, don't quote me wrong, funding is something that some companies get it at the very ideation stage. Some companies get it after being into the market for 2 to 3 years, or maybe 5 years, or maybe 6 years. Every startup companies, every idea come from a different background, have their different story and alike. Post which you can launch it. Now, from a prototype, you have utilized the funding to make it a kind of final version or near final version. You can launch it and let everyone know that you have made something. Now, over here, there would be two possibilities. A is that they are coming to you. I mean, your prospective customers, your prospective buyers are coming to you. And if they're sticking with you, you can grow year by year, percentage by percentage, and keep growing. And there would be one stage where you can claim yourself as a successful entrepreneur and your idea is a successful one. Now, talking about the adverse scenario, where if people are not coming, people are not buying the version or the product which you have made. So over here, you have to iterate again. You might pivot, you might diversify, you might rebuild. Then after, you can launch it again. Launch until your users stay with you. So now over here, I've put an example of Airbnb. You all know how big Airbnb is and how famous Airbnb is. Airbnb itself has launched 3 times in the journey. So that's very much okay if it's working at that given point of time. If it's not working, there's always room for iteration, diversification, pivoting. Also, connect the dot with an example of Bourbon turning out to be an Instagram. Bourbon was not working as per the expectations. They iterated, stick to one feature which was fulfilling the needs of the users. That's how Instagram took birth and how it became big. So this was in a nutshell that where you can start from, how you can start from. This is a kind of a standard roadmap depending upon your idea, depending upon what you do. Some things might be here and there, but yeah, this is you can say, consider this as a roadmap. Yeah, so this was from my side. Thank you all for hearing me out patiently, and would be happy to take up any questions from your side.
Thank you so much, sir, for delivering your inspiring nuggets of wisdom and experience. After listening you, the pickup was completely agreed on the point that there is difference between aim and dream. So aim is nothing but a path towards your dream. If you can choose any model of reality you want and accept it as true, why not choose a model that suggests that you can literally bend reality to your wishes? Every story which was told by you and that is ruling today Turns out that our brains are literally hardwired to perform at their best, not when they're negative or even neutral, but when they're positive. Yet in today's world, we ironically sacrifice for success only to lower our brain's success rates. So, yes, we must answer the question of our existence through our identity. So, it's time for Q&A. Of course, it is well said that when you talk, you're already sparkling. But when you listen wisely, you may learn something new. So now the board is open for queries. If any students want to ask any of the question, you can put your queries in chat box. Students, you can put the questions in chat box, if any. No questions? If anyone wants to ask any of the question to sir, board is open for you all. Please put your questions in chat box.
Do not hesitate. Feel free to ask any kind of questions with respect to entrepreneurship you would like to know. Yes, Jyoti?
Yes, Jyoti, put your question in chat box. I'll be reading for sir. Jyoti, you can type in chat box. Put your question.
Raising the questions, is it possible to unmute them so they can ask it directly?
Okay, there are two hands up. Those who want to ask the question, please put in chat box your question. I'll be reading for sir, and sir will be answering so. Okay. Guys, please put your questions. We are able to see your hands up.
Hmm. Is there a room to unmute them, Simran?
Sir, let
Yes,
me
sir.
connect
Just
to
a minute.
ma'am.
Yes, yes. Just a minute. Just give me a second. I'll do that.
Actually, chat box is disabled. So that's why students are unable to put their questions.
Just check how I can help out here. Just give me a second. Are they able to unmute now? Simran, will you please? Don't know.
Guys, please check if you are able to access it.
Yeah, Parvati is unmute now. Yeah, Parvati, you can go.
Yeah, students are unmuted now. They can ask the questions directly. Yes, Parvati, you can speak.
Can I ask you a question, sir?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so you spoke about if you have any new ideas or something, we should discuss it with people we know and then get their feedback. I just was
Hmm.
thinking that, because if suppose I mean, open up with your ideas, what is like, and how to kind of keep it safe, those ideas? I mean, do we have any system that helps us ensure that our ideas are not being used, like how you have for other, like, research and all, that you have patents and then you can get it protected with your name? But what about these
Hmm.
ideas which are very original? And if you go out and talk to people, I mean, how can we make,
Hmm.
ensure that part? Is there anything that can be done?
Hmm. See, very nice question. See, over here, we all are human beings, okay? And we all keep thinking constantly. So thoughts cannot be stopped by anyone for anyone to anyone. So everybody is having a freedom to think and generate ideas. But what can be done over here? See, ideas can be copied. People can copy your idea, but they can never copy your passion, or they can never copy the level and amount of energy you are carrying, which boils down to passion only. So do not worry about it, because see, this Orkut was there, still Facebook came. We were having this BlackBerry Messenger, still WhatsApp came. So nobody have any kind of rights towards the idea. We can't stop them. What we can do is we can stick to our idea and try to perform better than others. It's not the matter of ideas, it's the matter of how better you deliver, how better you perform. Today, if you want to order a food, there are tons of applications like Zomato, Swiggy, Uber, uh, whatnot. So they are all working on the same idea. I'm not saying the similar idea, same idea, ditto. But still, why do you choose Zomato over Uber over other applications? Because you find it better. They are doing better. So likewise, there would be competition, there would be replication of your ideas. So not worry about it, not overthink about it, and don't hold yourself to start thinking that it would be copied by someone else. And once you have kickstarted on paper, there are ways and make out to protect it through intellectual property rights that you very well said, IPs. I hope you have answered the question.
Are you satisfied with the answer? Well, Sitara Menon, you can unmute yourself and directly ask question. Sitara, you can unmute yourself and directly ask question from sir.
She's ma'am. Beta. Sitara madam is faculty.
Okay, ma'am. Sorry.
I guess everybody can unmute now and ask because the settings are changed. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much for answering the question. I was not able to unmute myself, so that is the reason. Yeah.
So sorry, but the settings were changed. Maybe some technical issue.
No worries, no worries.
Yes, students. Anybody else? Parvati was earlier raising the hand. Parvati, are you there? Parvati, you had a question, I guess. Do you want to ask something? You can ask now. You all are unmuted. I guess no other questions.
Ma'am,
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, please. Yes, Nitya.
hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, can you just send the feedback link? It's not opening.
Okay, let me just check. It was opening. It was being sent by a teacher. Let me just check. I'll send it again. Please check now. Students, any other questions? Sir is waiting. Anybody else having any query, you can ask. Simran, you can proceed. I think there are no more questions.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
So indeed, it was very informative and astonishing session. Thank you so much, sir. Last but not the least, it's now time for the vote of thanks. I now hand over the board to Dr. Nilanjana Kar, madam. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am is not there. I think some network issue might be there.
Just wait for a second for her. She joins back.
Two, 1, 3, 0, 7.
Sorry, I lost the connection.
No problem, ma'am.
Yeah.
You can proceed
So,
with vote of thanks. Yeah.
yeah, okay. Okay, thank you so much. Good afternoon to one and all. I, Dr. Nilanjana Kar, member of the Incubation Cell and Assistant Professor of Department of Chemistry, feel extremely proud to propose the vote of thanks on this promising event, which was organized to encourage our students to take up entrepreneurship as a career choice. Lalwani Pathak, who has given us an opportunity to organize this wonderful and amazing seminar. Many thanks to our vice principals, Dr. Pratima Das, Dr. Shashibal Pandey, Dr. Vilas Gaikar, Dr. Kailash Aute, and Dr. Meena Punja for supporting the event on startups and their success. Really, it was a wonderful event, and I'm sure it was beneficial for our students to help them start their entrepreneurial journey. So on behalf of HSNC Board, Srimati CHM College and CHM Incubation Center, I would like to thank Mr. Fanil Zakaria for accepting our invitation and delivering a fruitful and an interactive talk with his encouraging and inspiring words. Sir, tons of thanks to you. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to our respected chairperson of CHM Incubation Center and HOD of Management Studies, Dr. Sunil Lalchandani, for leading the event. Many thanks to Kajal Bhojwani, HOD of Commerce, for managing the program so brilliantly. Many thanks to the members of the CHM Incubation Center for organizing this event successfully. Thanks to our technical assistance team and our non-teaching staff. I would like to thank our students Ms. Neha Shinde for designing the lovely flyer for this event, and Ms. Simran Tiwari for anchoring the seminar so well. They are our TY Chemistry students. Last but not the least, the participation and interaction of our beloved students was very impressive and notable. Thank you, students, for being there. Once again, thanks all. Thank you very much.
So much, sir. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me. It was total my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone. We declare the session as closed. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Students, please fill the feedback form before leaving.